Life.
Us women have a hard time dealing with one nigga. Like, we really don't even know how to bond with a nigga. And I know some of them are like, no, I really do. I bond with that nigga. But deep down, I have to be honest with myself. We really, they ain't never just got one. We got the nigga that we with. But we got such and such on the side. In our inbox. We got old boy over there that be, you know what I'm saying, we just be dibbling dabble talking to him every now and then. Yeah. We got such and such over there. We broke up, but we still be talking on. We be, how you doing? So we really, we always got a our back door. Y'all can say had it too. And they probably do, but we talking about us right now. Cause I know for a fact, I got a bonding problem. It's hard for me to bond with a like I can bond with you, but I always got another on the side somewhere. Right? I just realized this the other day. And I really do think we the motherfucking problems, y'all.
I mean, listen, she said it. I didn't. But nobody's surprised. A lot of these women are finally accepting. Some women who are more logical and see the foolishness already know this. And the men already know this. They already know that y'all can't bond with one man. We already know you've been 304s for so long. It's going to be difficult for you to be with one man because you're used to so many. We already know that. We've already been saying this stuff, that these educated women are finally coming to this conclusion. They're late to the party. We already know all of this. Men already know all of this. Some men were oblivious to a lot of the nature of women, but now they know what it is. So now they're slow in recognizing themselves, and men and other women like myself, such as myself, we already know. That's why it's taking them a little time to figure it out. But we already know. We already been saying this. So I just think, once again, they're doing it to themselves. And I don't know when they're going to wake up and realize something. Because listen, once you realize something, once you do finally become accountable, it takes a long time for you to start to, change that mentality. You're going to have to work on yourself, and it takes time. You're going to have to get rid of this old way of thinking, and so that you can get a new way of thinking and get a new outcome. But who's going to be sitting around waiting for that? These men are already going overseas and spending time with other types of women. Men have already checked out. Y'all can't even go out to the clubs for the most part from what they're saying. Where, they gotta, and when you do go to the clubs, it's couples in there. The single people, ain't gonna be no man for you to get. Y'all keep playing around. There's already more women than men. So y'all keep playing, thinking y'all got all these options and being delusional. When you really want a man, they really ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. They're gonna really be moving on for real. Like, come on. So yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy to me, but what can we do? We see it all unfolding. And now some of them finally getting to see it, child. Some women think that they are. Women think they're getting over on men when really the gag be on them. Yeah, they're so smart, they're not, because they really don't understand the nature of men. So you think, because he don't say anything, or tell you anything, or don't move a certain way, you think he don't know what you're doing. A lot of times men do. And so once again, I think a lot of women underestimate men. You underestimate them. You think that they, just sitting there quiet or not responding to you the way you would respond to people. And you take that as they don't know what's going on. But I think when men do, that's why when they make their move, it's, it. And this is why a lot of these women realize these men ain't playing. These men have walked away. They're not approaching. Y'all said, don't approach us. Don't talk to me. Who do you think you are approaching a bad? That's how they talk. They think they're so above. They are literally saying, don't approach me. Don't look my way. And they're saying they don't want to talk to no man. They don't want no man to approach. They don't like men. What are you expecting to do? You expect them to be like the old simps of yesteryear? You want to be like the men from the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, where they would accept all these single mothers in good faith, thinking that you're a good woman, accepting you as a good woman and willing to accept your kids. I think it was an honorable gesture for men to do that back then, because when men thought, she just had a hard time in life. She was with this dude who was no good, and he did her dirty, and I'm not going to hold her responsible for that. I'm not going to, look at her in a negative way because of what somebody else did. They automatically assume that the dudes that they had these babies with just ran off. They believed the hype. They gave Black women the benefit of the doubt that you're a good woman. You just was in a bad circumstance. You was in a bad situation. So I don't mind, because these are good guys saying, I don't mind. I like you. And the assumption was, if you like a woman, you got to accept her and her kids as a package deal. So this is how men were thinking. This was fed to men. If you like her, you got to be willing to do X, Y, Z for her. And if she have kids, you like her kids are a package deal. That's where that came from. They convince men that these women are package deals and you take them if she's a good woman and do that. And a lot of men did that and they regretted it big time because the real deal came out and those relationships rarely lasted. And they realized how that, took away from their livelihood. You invest into these kids that are not yours. And then these women walk away and now that child, you're not even in that child's life sometimes. There are some situations where the stepfathers still have a relationship with their stepdaughters and it's a good thing, but a lot of them don't. And so they realized that woman was not what you thought she was and that relationship ends. So now you got to go and keep doing the same old thing. So this is why men today say, hey, I played that stepdaddy role and I ain't ever doing it again. They've literally said it. I ain't never doing that again. Never. Even men who have been married and their wives cheated on them, left there like they ain't never get married. Not again. They'll never do it again. Oh my God. So the men, they learn from their mistakes. They learn, but a lot of women don't. So I just think, this is the blueprint that a lot of women have from back then. That's what their mamas did. They had a stepdaddy and one, they'll tell you my mom was on the street. She did whatever she wanted. But that man still stayed at that house. That girl said that man still stayed at the house and took care of my mama kids. He ain't had no kids. So he gravitated to the kids she had. You would think that would be an honorable, respectable thing to do, that she would respect him because he didn't have to. He had no kids, but he took on her and her kids and treated those kids as his own. And even to the woman to this day says that's her dad. She still called him her dad, have a good relationship with him. And I mean, if you look at it like that, that's not a bad thing. But the relationship between him and that woman didn't work out. He wasn't able to marry her and really make her an honest woman and say, oh, this is a woman I want to build a family with because she's a respectable, loving woman. Yeah, she had kids when I met her and she was just a good woman and she was in a bad circumstance and she loves me and she treat me good. And I married her and I took on her kids and we still together. No, she was on the street when he met her and she was on the street when he left her and left him alone and didn't respect him probably or anything. Because that lady said her mama did whatever she wanted. Had other niggas and their men and all kinds of stuff. That's how she said it. So this is why they want men of today to be like that. But how does that benefit a man? How does that benefit a man to do what those men did when that didn't benefit them? You would be dumb to take on something like that when you have enough evidence to show that is not beneficial to you. Why would you set yourself up for failure? Because that's what that would be. You setting yourself up for failure. Why would any man in his right mind set themselves up for failure, knowing that experience in the past has shown them, history has shown them that that's not a good move. But once again, you have a bunch of women who benefit from that. So of course they're gonna try to shame you into it because they the ones who benefited. They don't benefit when you wake up and smarten up. No. They're left to their own devices, but that's what they asked for. DeeDee's reactions, videos and live DeeDee's reactions. She's about to put on a show. These reactions, just to let you know, like, share, subscribe. We about to go live.